Welcome to Everyday Cooking with Ann. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade whole wheat waffles with a homemade raspberry sauce and homemade whipped cream. All really amazing, but I'm also going to show you all the different shortcuts you can use to have this at home if you don't have or have the equipment or have the inclination to do it how I do it. So let's get started. I'm going to show you all the ingredients and what you can use to substitute in case you don't have what I have. Okay, first of all, these are the ingredients I make to make my homemade wheat waffles, and I've been making these for years so I can make them really fast. I just take everything out of the fridge and cover it very quickly. It looks like a lot of ingredients, and maybe it is, but once you get the hang of it, homemade from scratch is so amazing. But the one thing that I do have here is I've got whole wheat, ground whole wheat. It's ground pretty fine. I keep it in my freezer so that I can use it anytime I want to use whole wheat flour. You, of course, can use whole wheat flour that you buy from the store, but make sure you also put that in the freezer to keep it fresh, because that endosperm in the whole wheat, if it's freshly ground, it will go bad quickly. So that's why I do my whole wheat and put it in the freezer, and I use it for recipes whenever I would like to do half white, half whole wheat. These waffles are going to be 100% whole wheat, and I'll show you how to make them so delicious. The other shortcut to this is if you don't want to go to all this trouble that I'm showing you here, except maybe a couple of things, you can buy a box of Kodiak cakes at Costco or any grocery store, which has whole wheat flour in it, and they'll be just as good. And you can add some of these other ingredients to that to make them just as good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start, and with my ingredients, I'm going to start with my dry ingredients to put in my bowl. And I'm going to put, you can put, and most of this is very forgiving. You can put a little more, a little less, because it really doesn't matter. I'm putting 2 cups because we don't need to make a lot today, but you can put up to 2.5 cups of whole wheat flour in here, or you can do half white, half whole wheat, whatever your preference is. Okay, I'm also going to be putting in some baking powder, and this may seem like a lot, but I'm going to put in almost a whole tablespoon of baking powder. I'm also going to be putting in a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to be putting in a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to be putting in 2 tablespoons of sugar as well. So for every cup of flour, you want to have a tablespoon of sugar to match it, basically. Okay, these are the dry ingredients. I'm going to just whisk those together so they're mixed up and ready to go. And now what I'm going to show you is what I do with my wet ingredients. First of all, I have 2 eggs I'm putting in my bowl. You can put it in here too if you want, but I'm going to be measuring that. So I'm going to have 2 eggs in here. I'm going to have about a cup of milk. And this could all be forgiving too. You can put a little more or less in later on once you've got it all together. But this is about a cup of milk. And of course you've got to have buttermilk and buttermilk waffles. So too much buttermilk sometimes makes it a little too soft on the outcome of your waffle, and you want to have a nice crispy but moist inside waffle. So I use about a cup of this. And I throw in a little bit of vanilla as well. I don't measure that. Okay, I'm going to take my wire whisk here, and I'm going to whisk all this together, because one of the secrets to making waffles, and just like muffins or anything else, you want to have a light, fluffy ingredient, and so you don't want to overbeat your final mixture. So I'm beating all of this mixture in, as well as 2 to 3 tablespoons of melted butter. This makes it taste amazing, of course, butter and everything. Okay, and in just a moment I'm going to show you my lemon juice that I'll put in as well. Okay, so I'm going to take this mixture and just start putting it in here. I don't want to beat this a lot, because I'm going to be letting this sit here and ferment for a little bit while I make our raspberry sauce. But you would like to have this sitting by the waffle iron once you've mixed it up. You can see I'm not beating, I'm just basically combining the liquid with the And this will thicken up a little bit when it sits well, so don't think that this is too thin. You don't want to have too many lumps, but you want it to be lumpy. So you don't want to have big, so you can see I've only just barely done that. And now the other trick ingredient is a little bit of lemon juice. This reacts with, of course, your baking soda, you know, the acid with the soda. And I put about a teaspoon or so in there. Mix that up, and I'm going to let this sit, and I'll show you in a little bit when we're ready to make our waffles how it looks after it sits and kind of ferments for a little bit. Okay, there we go. We finished with our waffle batter. We're now going to go to our raspberry sauce. Okay, those of you who have seen my videos before where I'm making salad dressings and other sauces, my Ninja machine is my favorite tool, because not only do I have the big thing blender to make smoothies or something like that, or something where I need a lot of it. If I just need a small amount of something, I have this little cup here, and I have another one that's even smaller, which I probably could have used. But this is how I mix up anything that I don't need to put a lot in, and it's great. It works great. So what I put in here ready to go is some thawed, one package, 10 ounces of raspberries. You can use fresh raspberries too, but these were frozen and I thawed these. And then I'm going to put in 4 tablespoons of sugar. And the other secret ingredient that goes in here is a tablespoon of orange juice concentrate. That's it. And then I'm going to put my trusty top on here. Okay. That's it. However, most people don't like to have their sauce full of seeds. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do next. Take off the top here. I don't want to waste any of that. I might take that out later. So it's kind of a nice thick sauce right now. You can see it's perfect consistency to make as a sauce. But what I'm going to do now is I have a little strainer like this over a little tiny bowl like this, and I'm going to be pouring in my sauce right here, and I'm just going to start going through the strainer, and then I'm just going to press it through. It doesn't take very long. This is an extra step that a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to do that, but this fresh raspberry sauce is the bomb. It is so good. You can put it on almost anything, ice cream. But these waffles are like a special treat with this raspberry sauce. And I make this for special events for people. I make this for my family, or for Easter brunch, or something like that for a special occasion. I've served a lot of women something like this at a meeting. And it just makes people realize that you went to a little extra trouble to make something special for them. So I'm now just straining this through here. This may take a couple of minutes. So we'll be back in a minute when I'm finished with all of the straining of all the seeds. Ready to make we're making blueberry waffles, because that's one of our favorites too. So I've already washed some fresh blueberries that'll go in the waffle. You can see my batter I haven't touched since it's been sitting, but see all the bubbles on top? That means it reacted really well with my soda and lemon juice and buttermilk. So it's going to be so I'm just going to stir this up a little bit like this. And I always put a little bit of canola oil spray in my waffle iron. And I don't put a whole half a cup, because that's about where your limit should be on putting in this waffle iron, my round waffle iron. But I go ahead, it looks like I can use a little bit more. This will spread to be a perfect size waffle. We like to put some blueberries on it. I just take a fork like this and just kind of cover them with the batter so they don't stick to the waffle iron. Okay, I'm going to put this down and turn it over, and I put my timer on for 4 minutes, and then I'll show you how we're going to dress it up. Okay, I'm going to turn my waffle iron over and pick up my waffle, and it is so perfectly light, crispy, beautiful. It's amazing how making it this way makes it so wonderful. I want to show you another little cheat thing too, because you can see this is my fresh raspberry sauce that I just made. I like this too. So this is a Lion's dessert sauce, raspberry sauce. If you don't want to make your own, you can use that. What I have over here is my homemade maple syrup and my homemade whipping cream, which I want you to go to the top of my video and when this one's over, and you will see how you can make those two items, as well as my how to grind your own whole wheat if you want to go that route. So there's different options to make these absolutely fabulous. So let me show you what we're going to do to start. I'm going to go ahead and drizzle my raspberry sauce on my waffle. Honestly, this is better than anything at IHOP you could ever get, honestly. Okay, I'm going to put some whipped cream on top, just right in the middle. I'm going to put a few raspberries around as well. And if you want to add a little bit of your Lion's dessert sauce on top, you can do that. Voila, it's amazing. And my husband, the crazy person that he is, wants to put homemade maple syrup on top of that. But that's a bit much. Enjoyed this video and maybe you learned a little bit about how to make great waffles. If you'd like to learn more about how to make some of the items I have here, you can go to my next video on my homemade maple syrup and my homemade whipping cream, as well as how to grind your own whole wheat flour. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe and share this video with some of your friends. And by the way, I'm making this the week before Easter, so I hope you'll try maybe doing a brunch with some of my other brunch ideas like my apricot crepes, which you can also see. Thank you for watching and see you soon.